What is up, beauties? In case you forgot, my name, of course, is Burnsy, and wow, it's been a while. How the fuck you been? Anyway, this video is going to be part hate mail, part where the fuck have you been, and part what is my other passion that I got sucked into over the last month or so. So let's get it started, shall we? Are you dead? Well, clearly not, unless I'm coming to you from the grave. That's my favorite part about the internet, when someone goes quiet or doesn't upload for a while, and people just assume that you died a horrible, horrible death. Even some of the haters will just run with the rumors. Ah, that piece of shit Minnesota Burnsy finally fucking died. And the people who actually like you for whatever reason sometimes believe it. Hey, I heard a rumor that you're dead. What happened? Well, if I was fucking dead, how would I tell you? Just further proof that the internet is a mob mentality. They make up stories, they make up rumors, and no one fact checks or anything. If someone said it on Twitter or YouTube or in a blog post, it must be true. I mean, they said it. I don't know them, but they said it, so it must be true. They're credible, which just makes you look like an idiot. But that's what the internet is. Instead of banding together in a common interest that you enjoy and talking about it and enjoying it and sharing ideas, people mob together in a common interest of something that they hate, and then they spin it and they twist it and they bring more hatred, and that's just what it is. Just look at the YouTube comments. Do people still read those? I fucking don't. I'll keep the comments on for this video, but I sure as shit ain't gonna read them. If you have something nice to say or bad to say, throw it on Twitter. I'll either reply or block you. That's how I'm gonna do things from now on. It just seems easier and more enjoyable. So now that we've established that I'm not dead, I'm sorry to disappoint some of you out there. I know it's heartbreaking. I know you were hoping for it and praying for it and you believed it, but I'm sorry that it's not true. Let's move on to the next thing that I've heard. He must be in jail. Are you in jail? Nope, not in jail. Never been arrested in my life. Don't even have a criminal record unless you consider these things part of a criminal record. I have a traffic violation, couple parking tickets, and underage drinking ticket when I was 19. Does that count? You know, drinking when you're underage? It's like, you know, $70 ticket. Fucking horrible person over here. He fucking drank when he was 19. He's a terrible person. Did 10 hours of community service. He's a fucking criminal. But someone went to jail. Oh yeah, someone went to jail. And I can't give specifics on it, so I'll just give you minor details. This is the story that I can tell in detail maybe at another time, hopefully sometime in the near future, but it had to do with someone having my personal information or some of my parents' personal information and harassing me with it and doing other illegal, very illegal activities with it, and now their life is completely fucked. So hopefully I can give that story sometime in the near future. Don't want to jeopardize any case at this time. Let's just say I did some fantastic investigative police work, but like I said, that's a story for another day, so stay tuned. And no, it is not the same kid in the video that people have been tweeting at me for the past 24 hours, calling me a terrible, horrible person. Basically, that video is 3 years old, and how it happened, how it came to light, was it was back during PTFO Live when Jimmy accidentally showed my full name on Twitter and people started adding me on Facebook, and then one person actually took it a step further and found out where my parents live and their phone number and were harassing them with phone calls and then harassing me and saying they were going to do terrible things. And I got him on a Skype call and screamed at him and yelled at him and said things in the heat of the moment, but I'm a YouTuber, so I'm not allowed to have normal human emotions. I'm not allowed to get upset, so people will take that out of context and make me seem like a horrible person. And that, again, that video is 3 years old. So you guys are kind of fucking slow, whoever brought that to light. That shit's been on YouTube forever. Surprised it took you so long, but congratulations. I mean, I haven't been on YouTube in almost a month, and you're still trying to find reasons to hate me. I mean, if you want my dick that bad, I'm going to have to ask you to take me to dinner first. And I'm easy to please. I'm not an expensive taste. You can take me to Applebee's. I'll be perfectly content with that. But, yeah. Moving right along, did you quit YouTube? Now, if I ever were to quit, I would give you a proper goodbye and let you know that I was leaving. Basically, being on YouTube for over 3 years, trying to do videos every day, trying to think of new ideas, it kind of sucks you in, and you become obsessed with it. And before you know it, all you're doing is sitting in front of a computer screen, you're responding to fans, you get caught up in the negativity, and now all of a sudden you're responding to hate that you shouldn't be, that you should just be ignoring. And all of a sudden your social life is gone, you're not seeing friends as often, you're losing those relationships, you're not seeing your family as much, you're not keeping in contact with your family, and all of a sudden you're like, holy fucking shit, all I do is sit here all day. And I needed to get some of that social life back. And if there's one thing that brings friends and family together, and I believe this is universal across the board, is it's sports. And so that brings me to my passion outside of YouTube, and if you follow me on Twitter, you already know that my passion is hockey. I love me some hockey. That is my shit. And I would consider myself what you would call a die-hard fan. I am a season ticket holder for the Minnesota Wild, the National Hockey League team here in Minnesota, professional hockey. And I eat, sleep, piss, and shit this team. It is my passion beyond belief. I am a die-hard fan. I believe I went to every single home game this season except for 2. So 1 preseason game, 39 home games, and 6 playoff games. So 6 playoff home games. So that's 46 games. I love this team. And when it's playoff time, everyone gets excited. The city, the state, your friends, your family. And so when there's road games, I hung out with a lot of friends. You know, we get beer, we sit in front of the TV. I don't sit in front of the TV. I fucking pace. I'm a nervous wreck during these games. If you're a hockey fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Playoff time is the greatest time of year, but it is unbelievably agonizing. But don't get me wrong, it is a lot of fun. It's very, very exciting. And so what a perfect time to take a little break from YouTube, get really caught up in my other passion 100% of the way, see some friends, see some family, get excited for this, and just get away from being in front of the computer screen 14 hours a day. And so let me just tell you how exhausting these playoffs can be. First series for the Wild, not expected to win this series. People thought we were going to get swept, or we were going to lose in 5 games, 4 games to 1. And it went to Game 7 on the road and went to overtime. And if you don't know how overtime works in hockey during the playoffs, it's the next goal wins. You play until someone scores. So this Game 7 of overtime, just imagine me biting my nails, pacing around the room. Because the situation is, you score, you go to the next round. You get scored on, then it's over. Your season is done in the blink of an eye. And so here's an audio clip of the end of that first round series in Game 7. And keep in mind, Minnesota Wild have not won a playoff series in 11 years.
Out they come 2-on-1. This is Niederreiter holding onto it, and he scores! Niederreiter wins the series for the Minnesota Wild.
That ting sound you heard, the most sexiest sound you can possibly hear in a Game 7 overtime. That's the sound of the puck hitting the back bar in the back of the net on the most ridiculous snipe shot ever. And I wish I would have thought of this before overtime started. I should have set up a camera to show me and my friends' reaction. I think there was like 6 or 7 of us just pacing around the living room. And I swear to God, I think I jumped like 50 feet in the air. I jumped over the couch into my friend's arms, just screaming and yelling. And holy shit, that was probably the best hockey game I've ever seen, because in that game we were down 1-0 and tied it. We were down 2-1 and we tied it. We were down 3-2 in the last period to tie it. We were down 4-3 with 5 minutes to go and we tied it with 2 minutes left. And then we won in overtime. That was an emotional fucking roller coaster, and I loved every second of it. And so we get to go to the next round for the first time in 11 years, and I'm all in on this team. And I hope you guys understand why YouTube was in the back of my mind, last thing on my mind. Because sometimes there's more important things in life, and those are your friends, your social life, your family. And you can say, oh, you missed out on so much money on YouTube. And yeah, you can make a good living on YouTube, and I don't apologize for making money on here, but sometimes you just got to get away. And let me tell you, this whole state, this whole city was all in on the Minnesota Wild. You know, we weren't expected to do much in the playoffs, and now, my God, we have a chance. And so here's another audio clip of a second-round game when we were down 2-1 in the series, and I believe this was the 4th goal we scored on this goalie this game. And it pretty much guaranteed that we were going to tie the series 2-2. And this is sort of a playoff tradition for some arenas during the playoffs, where you try to get in the other team's goalie's head by serenading him. So this is the Minnesota Wild crowd having some fun with Chicago Blackhawks goaltender Corey Crawford, letting him know that the series was going to be tied. Unfortunately, we did not win this series, and so like the last round when I was talking about the most beautiful sound ever, hitting the back bar of the net to win a Game 7 in overtime, here is the worst sound that you can hear. It was Game 6, we're down 3-2. It felt like we were going to win the game. We played really well, but it went to overtime. And in the glass, around the glass, it's not seamless glass, there's metal stanchions in it. And if the puck hits one of these metal stanchions straight on, the puck will take the most ridiculous bounce ever. And so in overtime, Chicago shoots the puck into the zone, and you know, the defense is trained to go to an area where the puck will usually bounce off the glass right to your stick. Instead, it hits the metal stanchion, and right when you hear that clank, you're just like, oh, fuck. And the puck came right out to a Chicago stick. Goalie was out of position. Score. And right away, I didn't even know it was in. This was a home game. and the arena just went dead silent. I didn't even know it was in. I just knew that it was over because Chicago's bench jumped off and started celebrating, and you just sit there and you're like, God damn, there's just no way that this is how it ends. This is the most brutal way to lose a series and end your season. And so to kind of explain how it feels, you know, that Game 7 win, you feel absolutely fantastic. When your season ends in overtime like that, man, it feels like someone kicked you in the nuts, ripped your heart out, and laughed in your face all at the same time. But you know, it took a couple days to get over it. I basically sat in my seat and looked at the ice for like 5 minutes with a blank stare, like, that's not how it ends, man. That's not how it ends. And it was dead silent in the concourse when people were walking out. The streets were dead silent. You could just see it on people's faces, like, I know we weren't supposed to win the cup and we weren't expected to win it all this year, but it can't end like that. But in the end, it's only game why you have to be mad. Some of you will understand that joke, some of you won't. But it's time to get back into making some videos. It was a well-needed, well-enjoyed break, and I hope you understand why I took it. I hope you guys have yourself a beautiful rest of your day, and I will ABC ya!